Hi, welcome back to my cat cafe. How have you been? Oh my god, welcome to the best of 2023. Can you believe it, Tiffany? We're already here. It feels like it was yesterday that I was sitting in my old place of residence making this video, and yet here we are. You've changed so much for the better, truly. So we're gonna talk about my favorite books of 2023. Let's not get it twisted, okay? Let's make something real crystal clear. These are my favorite books of the year, not my favorite horror of the year, okay? I'm not talking about horror in this video. This is just like the leftovers, I guess. And I was trying to think, and I was like, what books do I want to include in this video? Because to be honest with you, Tiffany, I didn't think I was gonna make this video, but then I was kind of like, I'd read more than I thought I did. I only have like 6 books. My logic, right? These aren't the kinds of books that I'm gonna sit around and think like, oh, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life thinking about it. There's so much cat hair in the air. I can like see it. I don't know if it's like just me. I feel like I'm Pigpen. Most of these books, I'm not gonna sit around at 3 a.m. and be like, what was that? I'm not gonna think about them. But I was thinking like, what are the books from 2023 that I want to recommend to you? What are the books from 2023 that I'm like, what does Tiffany need? Buckle up, get ready, snuggle in, pop your pussy. Okay, let's get started. First things first, I'm the realist. My neighbors probably think I'm so fucking creativity. They probably think I'm a fucking freak. They probably hear me like in the middle of fucking night because it's like, I think like 11 p.m. right now. My window's just like slightly cracked because that window like doesn't close. I think I broke it. It's not great. But I just imagine that like when I start filming and they start hearing me talk, they're just like, the fuck is going on with the girl in that fucking unit? What the fuck's going on? I also had, this was like months ago. No, maybe like a month ago. I kept my windows open in my living room. And this is a tangent, by the way. Sorry if you don't like tangents. Anyway, that was in my living room. I had my windows open. I always had my windows open because I liked the breeze, you know. It was still like fall. And like, I mean, I guess it's still fall. Anyway, I was like in the living room. I was watching TikToks. And like, I was kind of like, you know, like giggling to my fucking self. And it was like maybe 3 o'clock in the morning. And like, all of a sudden I heard one of my neighbors being like, can you please be quiet? It's 3 o'clock in the morning, for God's sake. Bitch, the way that I took my phone and just lowered the volume and just sat there and literally just sat there because I had never been so like exposed. It was like a moment of like, I think I'm alone. I feel comfortable in that I'm like alone. But then like somebody is like, we can hear you, we can see you. And so I sat there for a while, just like remaining silent, and they didn't say anything else. They probably went to bed. I think they closed their window, which if you can hear me giggling and gaggling and you're upset about it, it's 3 o'clock and it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Close your window. Close your fucking window. Why? Like, get a fucking fan. You probably have a fucking air conditioner. Close your fucking window. Chill out. Anyway, so then I closed. So then I just like very slowly like kind of just closed the window. And then I went back to my giggling and my gaggling and my TikTok. But anyway, I can't even imagine what they think because that window doesn't close. I think I broke it. This is like the longest tangent in the fucking world, and I don't even know how to get out of it at this point. I don't know how to go back. Anyway, first things first, let's talk about the Tea Dragon Society. I read this in like January. By the way, also 2023 not been great in terms of doing wrap-ups. I kind of want to get back into wrap-ups in 2024. If you want to see wrap-ups, let me know. I'd love to know if you even like them or if you even care. I had one person recently be like, please do them, which like I get it because like I haven't done them in months, but I figured kind of like nobody really cared. But if you care and you want to see wrap-ups, please let me know. Anyway, okay, enough tangents. The Tea Dragon Society. The Tea Dragon Society is basically this graphic novel, and it's adorable. What else do you need? Also, it has tiny little dragons. Tiffany, it has dragons. It might be the cutest thing I saw all year. And I look at my cats every goddamn day. It also has like super Sailor Moon, Cardcaptor Sakura, magical girl vibes. This character gives me such Usagi vibes. I can't even. If you like cutesy shit that's got dragons in it, if you like cutesy shit that's got dragons and it's fucking gay, what are you waiting for? That's my first book for this video. Next, I want to talk about Deceived Gargoyles. Deceived by Gargoyles by Lillian Lark. This wasn't anywhere in the plans. It wasn't in the cards. It wasn't in the stars. For some reason, somehow, I ended up loving this. Like, against my own better judgment. That's the thing, Tiffany. But against my better judgment. In case you're like, Jordan, what is Deceived by Gargoyles? By Gargoyles. By the way, first of all, also look at this cover. This cover is absolutely gorgeous. Get out of town. Also, what I like about this book, that's nice, isn't it? When it goes to the gargoyles perspective, the pages are black. Why don't we ever do this? Why don't we do this? Who said we couldn't do this? Because this seems like it would be like a really cool idea. Maybe it would be like eye strain, but like for the girlies who want this, why can't we have it? Like, I want an entire book with black pages. Anywho, this is about this girl named Grace. Grace is just looking for love. She's just looking for love. She just wants to find a hot, rich, good-looking guy who's hot and rich or whatever. But she wants to find love. And so she goes to this like bathhouse matchmaker person. They set her up with this dude who's like a gargoyle. You know, he can like look like a human. She's like, you're cute as a human, but he doesn't like show her like his gargoyle side. And he also isn't like showing her or telling her like exactly the truth, and that he's interested in dating her and also interested in having his brothers date her. We do eventually like meet his family, and eventually he does kind of spill the beans of like, Grace, these are my brothers. Also, we should all fuck. When I was told about this book, and when I was sent it, because one of my patrons, one of my very good bookish friends, Lonnie, sent this to me because she was like, you should read it. I think you really like it. Grace is like a fat bitch, which we love. But Lonnie also told me that it was like a book with knotting. Knotting, knotting, okay? I'm not going to explain knotting to you. You should Google it if you're interested, but it has knotting. And when she said that, when I looked it up for myself, my innocence was lost. So if you're going to look it up, I'm telling you right now, you should also like think about it. Do you want to live the rest of your life knowing that there is a human adult woman who wrote a book about gargoyles and the fact that they knot a human girl over and over and over again? Like, do you want to have that in your little bird brain? And if you already know that, and you already know what knotting is, I'm so sorry. But also, this was really good. I forgot to tell you that it was really, really good. Listen, again, I'm not going to sit here and be like, this will change your life, Tiffany. It's going to be like amazing for you. It's not. This is just fun. And honestly, I think an indicator of how much I liked it was the fact that like after I finished it, I looked up this author's other works. I looked up other monster romances, and now I know in my little fucking black book, my little bird brain, there are serpent monster romances. There's like dragon monster romances. There's like werewolf monster romances. 2024, I'm gonna read more monster romance. I'm not gonna go into too much detail. What I will say is the gargoyles were hot. Especially my favorite was Alistair. I can't even tell you why. He just was. He was kind of, actually, honestly, and like this is not my type usually, but like Alistair was giving like dom daddy realness. Alistair was kind of like the older brother, the oldest brother. He was like very stern. He was like the leader. You know that thing? You know that thing where like a dude will be like, I'm just a professor, or I'm just like a very academic man, and I don't have worldly thirsts or whatever. But then in the bedroom, he's like freaky deaky, eeky leaky. Like he's like crazy. That's Alistair. I think that's why I liked him. I'm just like an uppity professor, academic guy. But then in the bedroom, he was like, you want it? Or whatever. Like, it was crazy. Since we're on romance, let's also talk about this book, Serpent and Dove. Again, not gonna change your life, but it's fun. I read this for the books you think I'll hate reading vlog. People thought I would hate this, and now it's on my best of. This is about this like witch, this girl. She's living in this like society where witches are like illegal or whatever. Nobody wants to be a witch. Nobody wants to be around a witch. Nobody likes a witch, but she's a witch. And then we're also following this other guy whose name is Reed. He's like a priest soldier. That's how I would describe it. He like works for the church and he's like, blessed be sisters or whatever. But he also has like a sword. So he's like crazy. Our main girl, the witch, Louise, and Reed meet each other. And there's like instant connection. There's like instant chemistry, but they're like, you know, kind of like that to each other. Because Reed thinks that Louise is a dude. Or no, maybe he doesn't. Either way. They end up eventually in a marriage of convenience because they think that Louise is like thief criminal thing. They get her married to Reed for some reason. It doesn't make that much sense. It's like for the plot, you know? What Reed doesn't know is that Louise is a witch. And like I said, being a witch is not great in this like little society. Reed's job specifically is to like get the witches, kill them, kill the witches. So Louise has to like keep it hush hush about her little witch secret thing. She can't let her husband know that she's a witch, otherwise he'll like kill her. But then it's also like really complicated when they actually like start falling in love with each other. It's like crazy. What I love about this book is the fact that it's like a bodyguard / like enemies to lovers / like marriage of convenience / like religious trauma kind of romance book. It's honestly like a lot of fun. I read it in 2 sittings. It was actually also one of those kinds of books where like you're sitting there and you're reading it and you're like la 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 la, everything's great. And then you look outside and it's like daylight and you realize that you've been reading for like 5 hours. You didn't even notice. That was me reading this book. Also, there's like a sex scene in this. It wasn't like Deceived by the Gargoyles. It was like describing appendages, but there was a sex scene. And it was crazy because I wasn't expecting it. I was honestly like expecting like a fade to black moment, you know what I mean? Where like he kissed down her stomach, down to her, fade to black, don't mention the vagina. They were mentioning all kinds of things. I have 2 thrillers that I want to just quickly mention. These weren't my favorite things in the entire universe, but I would recommend them. And that is The Last Word by Taylor Adams. Taylor Adams literally hit it out of the park again. And like, I get why people wouldn't like this, but for me, it was a lot of fun. And honestly, I really liked the commentary. Now, in case you don't know, this is about this girl. She's like house sitting. Her name is Emma, by the way. And her neighbor across the street, this like old guy that she like communicates with via like telescope. It's weird. It's a whole thing. He tells her like, you should read this book. It's only like 99 cents on the Kindle store. She like downloads it and reads it. And then she leaves like a review because it was awful. Because it was like a joke. Her little friend was like, haha, it's bad. And that's like why he wanted her to read it. And she's like, this was the worst thing that's ever happened in humanity ever. My existence is made unbearable because of this book. Like that's like what she says. The author himself, a few minutes later, ping, somebody has replied to her review and it's the author. And he's like, listen, bitch. If you don't want a world of pain, you'll take down your fucking review. And she's like, how dare you? You literally don't even know me. No, I'm not gonna take down my review. And so he's like, fine. I'll just fucking kill you. And then, crazy thing happens. He comes and he tries to kill her. He knows where she is. He's like, hey, I'm here to kill you. And it's crazy. This honestly reminds me of the addictive power of No Exit. Like if you liked No Exit, you would probably also like this. What I will say though, Taylor Adams has this thing where like he doesn't know how to like end a story. Like he'll get to like the climax, but then he won't want it to be the climax, so he'll just make a new climax. And like that's how the book goes. It's just like, he just keeps one-upping his climaxes, and then eventually he ends it. It goes on for so long. It drags so much towards the end. I was like, when does this book end? When does it end? Because it should have ended like 20 pages ago, but it didn't. Other than that, a really fun book, a really great book. 10 out of 10. If you liked No Exit, you would like this. We have Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. I really liked this book, even though I don't want to brag, but I knew what was going to happen. Caught on to the plot twist like fairly early on in the book, and yet I read both of these books, by the way, one sitting, each of them. Surprising it happened in 2023 because this year was not good for me in terms of reading. Maybe I should have said that earlier. Either way, it wasn't a great year for me in terms of reading. I didn't have the best time. This is about this girl. I forget her name. Daisy. Her name is Daisy Darker. Her name is Daisy. Daisy is going back to her grandma's house for a little family reunion, and she is so excited. She hasn't seen her family in years, hasn't seen her grandma in years, okay? They're all there, they're all hanging out, blah, 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 blah. All of a sudden, everyone in her family starts being killed off. Everyone in her family starts being murdered, and it's like one by one. It's kind of like a and then there were none situation. I don't have that much to say about it. The characters were interesting, the audiobook was really good, and the plot twist, if you don't catch on to it, super good. I just keep bragging about how I caught on to the plot twist, but either way, very good. These are the last 2 books, and these are probably my favorite like regular books of the year. First of all, let's talk about a very serious subject. I'm not even joking, actually, but the way I said it, it sounded like I was joking. It's just that this video has been very like jokey. It's been very like ha 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 ha, but this is actually serious. Any Man by Amber Tamblyn. Now, who would have thought that the girl from Forever Jeans, what the fuck is that movie called? It's not called Forever Jeans. Forever Jeans. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Who would have thought that that bitch would end up writing this book? It wasn't on my bingo card. So this is a novel about rape culture and rape. R-A-P-E-E. R-A-P-E. I said R-A-P-E. I said E. Rapey. Okay. I can't. Literally the moment I'm like, we need to be serious is the moment where I'm gonna start making the most amount of jokes. Like it's not good. So Any Man by Amber Tamblyn is a book about rape culture. Like I mentioned, it's basically, imagine you are at home, right? Imagine you are sitting on your couch, you know, maybe watching a movie, listening to music, maybe reading a book, and all of a sudden someone breaks into your home and sodomizes you with a broomstick and then like handcuffs you to the heater. And then imagine that you're a man. So it's about a woman going around and like R-wording dudes, like any dude really, like any man. It's about these men's like collective trauma. And listen, can I be honest with you? Can I be vulnerable with you, Tiffany? I really liked this book, but I didn't really think about it after I finished reading it, because I know for a lot of girlies, this like lives rent free. Like I get why it would, but for me, it didn't really like permeate past me reading it. You see firsthand through these first person perspectives of like these men's horrible experiences and like the aftermath. And like what I think really destroyed me about this book was like the way that it was talked about by family, by friends, by peers, by strangers, by media. Like those are the kinds of things that like really got me in the book, especially with the first guy whose name I do not remember, him having to talk to his son and his son asking all of these like really hard questions of like, why did you get raped? Why did you let it happen? Why didn't you stop it? I'm assuming from a child's perspective, and even probably to some adults, it's like, it's a very like easy thing to be like, well, you're a man, you should have manned up or whatever and like not been raped. I liked that part because it was really like emotionally, like it was like stabbed me. I was like, ugh. It's hard. It's hard. If you haven't already read it, read it. It's not in the horror section, but it could be, because it's fucking horrifying. Rape culture is a fucking nightmare. Last book I'm going to mention in this video for my best books of 2023, Vita Nostra. I think this might be my favorite book of the year in terms of like this category. Like this video, out of all these books, I think this is my favorite because this is the one that I thought about. This is the one where I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck was going on in that book? I did a whole ass reading vlog for this. You can check it out. By the way, also there's a reading vlog on my Patreon for this book if you want to check out what I thought of it, like my experience reading it. It's on my Patreon. You can go check out my Patreon. Vita Nostra. It's a dark academia novel. Like I said, I did a whole ass video. I will link it down below. I didn't expect to live, laugh, love, but I ate it up. Fork, spoon, knife. I read it in a single day. Or maybe I read it in 2 days. I think it was a single day. I read it in a short amount of time, and then I immediately read the second book as well, which I did also like, and I would recommend the second book, but I don't think you need to read it. It's a weird book to describe, but hear me out. We're following this girl named Sasha. Sasha is on vacation in Greece with her mother. Sasha's an only child. Her mom's a single mom. They're in Greece. They're having the time of their lives. Sasha one day is being followed by this like old guy. She eventually finds her mom and she's like, Mom, this creepy guy is like following me. He's like creepy. And her mom is like, don't be stupid. Like that guy has no interest in you at all. You're 16. That's dumb. Sasha's like, okay, whatever you say. But then that guy keeps like approaching her, keeps following her. And then eventually he's like, you need to do these missions. And she's like, get fucked, mister. And he's like, no, you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. Otherwise bad things will happen. And so he's basically like threatening her, which is crazy, but whatever. So Sasha starts doing these missions, and basically they're just like these weird tasks where she's to like get up in the morning and go out to the sea, take off all her clothes and do like a fucking lap and then come back. But then when she gets back on land, she'll like puke up a coin. I don't know. I know what you're thinking. You're like, this is the weirdest synopsis. How is this good? Trust me. Eventually this ends. Sasha is like, thank God it's over. Sasha is trying to just like live her life. And this guy comes back and he's like, you're going to do more missions. Otherwise bad things will happen. And so she's like, okay, well, you're literally threatening me, whatever. But this time instead, she's just to like run track. And then again, at the end, she pukes up a coin. And then he's like, okay, you're done. Congratulations. And she's like, thank God, I never want to see you again. And then he's like, okay, but you're going to go to this university. And she's like, I've never heard of this place. And he's like, yeah, because it doesn't really like exist for anyone but you and I, kind of, and like a few other people. And so he sends her to this university, kind of like against her will. Like she doesn't want to go, but she goes. She starts taking these classes. It's wild and it's weird, Tiffany. I can't even describe it. My synopsis doesn't even give weight to the weird, like mind-bending, world-bending type of book that it is. Like, it's a strange book. It's seeped into dark academia, and that's what I love about it, I think, the most, is how dark academic it is. Dark academic, is that a thing? Sasha grows and persists as a character. How she goes from this like little human girl to whatever she ends up at the end. The story, the progression, the characters, these themes, these ideas, it's all very, very interesting. And I really like it. And not only that, like the school itself, the teachers. Oh, listen, if you want to hear me talk more about this, check out the reading vlog where I read it, because it was crazy. And I would recommend that you pick this up. Out of anything here, this is the thing where I'm like, you should read this. You should read this because I think it's good. I think it's really, really good, especially if you like dark academia. I think this might have like changed my brain chemistry, to be honest. Like it might have like altered my personality. Might honestly have like split my timelines, but for the better. My friends, my family, my familia. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for being here. It's been so much fun. I missed you. You look great, by the way. Oh, I literally can't even stand it. Like, I don't know. I see you and I'm like, I should say it, but then I'm like shy. So I always tell myself like, I'll do it next time. I'll do it next time, but I never do. And I don't know. I just stop it. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to hit subscribe, because we talk about spooky shit, talk about creepy shit, talk about knotting and Vita Nostra and shit. Thank you so much. Let me know down below what your favorite books of the year were. Let me know if you read any of these books, if you have different opinions, if you also loved them. I would love to know. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Goodbye, Tiffany. Bye.
Joyride.